So we've already looked at how Scratch has organized its display in exactly the same way as we are used to in our basic XY coordinate system. That is, at the center, our to put is 0, 0. And then as we move right, the X goes plus. As we move left, goes minus. As we go up, chords go up. As we go down, it goes negative. So exactly the same way. So we are going to just leverage this XY coordinates for motion. So if we look at our coding blocks, we looked at looks earlier when we were changing our costumes. So we are going to focus largely on the motion blocks now. Now for this project, we will also use a backdrop, a stage. So, if you just visualize, I'm sure all of us would have watched a play, a drama in our schools, or we would have even acted in our younger days, or we may be currently helping and organizing with our children. So we think of a stage and a play. What happens is we kind of set up a stage, a backdrop. It may look like a school classroom, it may look like a playground, it may look like a home room, and those objects are pretty much stationary, right? Like it will stay still, and then characters will come in and move around and do the actions. So very similarly in Scratch is the concept of stage, which here on the right hand side you can see. Now to choose a backdrop for the stage, this icon on the left, choose a backdrop. Can you see? Just below this stage, it says choose a backdrop. So this choose a backdrop, I'm using the search button here. And there are some pre-existing backdrops which Scratch has given us as part of the backdrop library. We of course can make our own backdrops, and we have encouraged children to draw their backdrops. It makes it very vibrant, and it's a great way to enhance children to bring their creativity forward. For today, we are just going to use one of the backdrops in the library here. So I'm going to look at outdoors, and since it's about motion, I thought we'll pick up something, very regular daily basis, a scene from a road. Okay, that's what we will build. So for that, I'm just going to take this backdrop. So this backdrop, if I click on it, you will see the second tab here. It says backdrops. Now when I click on it, there was this empty backdrop earlier. I'm not going to be using it, so I'm just crossing it. And now we are using this backdrop, which is basically a road with a side path and like a mural. That's why I call it mural. But for now, I can even rename it. So I will just rename it as a road. We will also rename the project because we don't want it to be named Untitled 2. So we are going to call it, now that we have called our backdrop road, we have named a project. So now let's get to some coding. Now, whatever we do physically here in coding, we can also do it using code. What we're going to do is, as we know, we started projects clicking on the green flag, which is an event, because it is going to trigger something. An event is something which kicks off something. So here we'll go to our when green flag clicked, and we will say at this point, we want to set the backdrop to road. So we are using a coding block from look. Why look? Because this is something which is visual, which is displayed. Anything which has a visual aspect to it is generally found in look. So switch backdrop to road. Now what you have to notice is that in Scratch, whatever we are coding to the object. The object itself has the code in it. So right now when we are coding the backdrop is selected, and on this coding area on the right, you can see this backdrop, right? It shows that we are coding the backdrop right now. And here also you can see the backdrop. So everything right now is related with the backdrop. So this is the first thing which we have done. We have selected a backdrop. Now, as we understand, the code, it always executes from top, that is whichever event is triggered. It starts from there and then it executes line by line. So whatever code we write in when green flag clicked, when we click that is the code which starts to be executed. So here the first thing which will happen is that it will switch the backdrop to this road backdrop. Now, because we want to show some, we want to show the road. So basically, what we want is to bring in some vehicles. Now, to do that, we are going to be bringing in the sprites. So anything which is an object which is going to move on the screen is basically called as a sprite. Now, this is the sprite section. We have looked at it before also. Now, for the sprite, today, again, we are only going to focus on the library provided by Scratch. So here, this is the sprite section. Here, choose a sprite. So we're going to be picking up sprites from here. Now we'll pick up all kind of cars and buses. So if I click on the search, if I put car, I can see a bus has come up, a couple of cars have come up, a food truck has come up, a truck has come up, right? And if we put a bike, you will see a motorcycle has come up. So these are some of the sprites which we can definitely make use of. So the first thing I will do is I will take one of these motorcycles. Yeah. Now this motorcycle, we want to show it coming in on the road, say from somewhere from here, and we wanted to show gliding, basically driving till here, right? That's what we want to show. So what should happen is when the green flag is clicked, we are going to, now what we are coding is, you see a difference? Earlier we were coding the backdrop, remember? It was the backdrop coding section here, and you saw the backdrop icon here. Now what we have taken a sprite and we have clicked on it. See, it is selected. So that, and on this coding section on the right corner, you can see it is this motorcycle. Yeah. So basically right now what we are doing, we are coding the motorcycle. We are giving instructions to the motorcycle. So this motorcycle will do whatever we ask it to do in a certain sequence based on the events. So as we said, as we looked at it, an event is like the topmost block. It is rounded on top. It doesn't have anything above it. It is a beginning of something. So when the green flag is clicked, the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that this bike is positioned here. Now it is positioned here. It means we are basically saying its XY coordinates are this. We can see the X and Y coordinates here, and we go to motion and we use the go to block, this go to block, and we drag and bring it here and we connect it. So when the green flag is clicked, we have set go to X and Y to this position. Now if you look at it very closely, very smartly, Scratch has already identified the current XY coordinates for us and it has put it here. We didn't even need to type it. Yeah, did you all observe that? We didn't even need to type the coordinates. It has put go to X, Y as the position we have currently placed the bike in. And we are going to go to looks and we are going to say show. We want to say this, do this because we want to make sure when the green flag is clicked, the bike is here and it is visible. Okay. So it is very important to make sure that we do the code settings. And again, I'll give an analogy. If it is, just like in a drama. So imagine if you're working with children and you're helping to do the drama and you say, okay, when the drama is going to start, when the first scene opens up, there may be 10 children in the drama, right? But you don't want all 10 children to be wherever on the stage. You want 2 children maybe to standing someplace on the screen when the stage opens. So you will tell those 2 children, you stand, left corner. The second child, you may say that you stand at the center. So you are giving them instructions basically where to stand, how to stand. That is basically the costume, how they're going to kind of look. They're going to stand with their hands straight, hand up, how they're going to be, what are the people going to be wearing. And you're going to tell them that you're going to be there. So basically they're going to be visible there. They're going to be show there. So of course, the people, it's not that we can just hide that they disappear. We will tell them you walk off the stage, and that will basically mean they are now off that. But here we have the show and hide, where we make use of that for a similar purpose. So here we have exactly done what I've explained. In the initial stage, we have set the bike in its position. Okay, and now we are going to take maybe okay, let's do this. Let's make it a little more interesting. We will make this bike go forward, and then we will also bring in a signal. We'll bring in a traffic signal, and we will see how the traffic signal is then going to be controlling the traffic, or rather how the traffic is going to be following the traffic signal. So now, first of all, let's see how to make this object, our motorcycle, move on the screen. So we are going to again look at the motion block, because it's about movement. Now we see a movement, we see there are multiple ways for it to move. There's something called a move. Yeah. And if you click on it, you can see, it is moving 10 steps forward. Yeah. This is move. We have already used Goto XY, which basically what it does, if I click on this code, you will see it will bring it back here. Why? Because Goto XY position is setting it. And then you will see there are two blocks which are around glide. Okay. Now, because the bike and the vehicles are going to be gliding, we'll use the glide object, the glide coding block on our object right now. Now, what does the glide block look like? This glide block has three variables, if you can see, three values, right? What it is saying, I'm just going to put it here on the screen so that we all can look at it together. So we are saying glide, then there is some value here 1. Glide 1 seconds to X and Y. So basically, if you read this statement, this block, it is saying that this object, okay, it will glide, it will take these many seconds to glide, and where it will glide to this position, X and Y position. Just make an observation here, very important. We are only saying where it will glide to. We are not saying from where it will glide. So what do we think? From where will it glide? It will glide from our current position. So you can imagine this is just like when we are on Google Map. If we want to see a direction to some place, we can say, from current location, and now take us somewhere. So it will show us a path from where we are to somewhere else. Or when we are booking a car ride, say on a Ola or a Uber, then we will say pick up from our current position, and this is where you drop us. So very similarly here, we are saying that it will glide from the current position. So wherever it is right now, right? To glide this coding block, it doesn't matter. So before that, we have said where it should be set. But in this glide, it is only going to glide till where we set it to. Now, how do we tell it where to set it to? We have to know that. So how will we do that? Manually, we will drag our bike and we'll place it here. Okay. So basically what it means, we want it to glide till the end of the screen. So to get that XY coordinate, 185 and minus 134. Now there are two ways to do it. We can type it out here. Yeah, we can type here 185 minus 134. Or what we can do, after we have placed here, we can drag this block here. And you will see it has got the same coordinates. Right? So it's very interesting the way Scratch has helped us and made it really easy. Wherever you places the position, it makes sure it picks up the XY coordinator. It shifts to that on your coding block on the left. So you have very little work to do. Just you have to make sure you have placed it correctly. So now we are going to put this block here that glide 1 second to this place. So if we click on this green flag, or we click on this code block, which is only doing this part. Yeah, did you all see? Now it went too fast. maybe I'll make it glide 3 seconds. So I just slow it down a little bit. Can you all see the bike moving across? Yeah. So now what we will do is we will bring in a few more vehicles. So like let's bring in a bus. Now we definitely don't want our bus to be standing on the footpath. We want it to arrive from here. So we'll put it here. Now one thing you'll notice, if I directly want to place the bus here and if I drag it, you sometimes it just doesn't go like that. So sometimes you just have to slowly drag it back. Okay. Now the other thing is, this bus is saying scratch tours, and I don't want it to really say scratch tours. So I have an option to just do a little bit of edit and maybe call it hippocampus school bus, right, or a school bus. So whatever we want, we can call it. So I'm going to do a quick editing. So what I'm just taking like a little rectangle and placing it here, and then using a text box to say school bus. Now this school bus, because it's white on white, it's not visible. So I'll just make it red so it's visible. I will just do a little bit of placement, right? And there you go. So we have a school bus. It's good to make sure that a project is getting saved. It does auto save, but it's good to make sure that you keep saving, because if there's ever an internet problem or any other issues on Scratch, we don't want you to lose your work. Okay, so this is a very good practice to make sure you keep saving your work. Now we have placed the bus here. So this is like a revision for all of us. We are going to just redo everything we did with this scooter for this. So all of you can just kind of be with me and revise for yourself that what we will do. First, we will do the initial setting. So now we are going to code the city bus. Okay. So have you noticed that earlier when we were coding motorcycle, this was selected. The coding section had this icon, so you knew you were coding the motorcycle. So only motorcycle was doing what we asked it to do. Now we want the city bus to do something similar. So we have selected city bus. You will see city buses on the corner. And we want it also to come when the green flag is clicked. So we take the same event and we go to motion and we say initially we want it to be in this position, or even if we want it to be certain a little more behind, we can try. So you will see it has picked up the correct coordinates. So we pick it up from here. We go to looks and then we pick up the show coding block so that we know it's certainly here. And now we are going to want it to just glide forward till here. So we are going to glide it forward till here. So the coordinates it has shown us, what are they? So we're going to take glide and we're going to put it here. So we're going to glide it, say, for 2 seconds. Okay. So now we can see how is our code going to work. So we clicked on this full screen control and going to click on the green flag. So you will see both our bike and our bus is coming and stopping as we asked it to do. Now to make this project really interesting, as we agreed, we are going to add a traffic signal here. Now, if I just look at it, I may or may not have a traffic signal. So is that going to stop us from doing this? Not at all. It's a very easy thing to make a signal. So what we will do, we'll come to Sprite, and instead of choose a Sprite, this time we will do paint. We're going to paint and create our own Sprite. So I'm going to click here. So when I click here, an empty Sprite has opened. I'm going to call it a traffic signal. And we're going to come to its costume. So for each Sprite, if you notice, when we clicked on each Sprite, it opens up here costume. So if you pay attention, when we clicked on backdrop, here it was backdrop and the different backdrops. But for each Sprite, it will mention the different costumes for that Sprite. So this was motorcycle, these are the city bus, and now we are creating a new one. So right now there's no costume because we are creating our first one here. Now here what we will do, we'll just like take a simple straight line Yeah, and if we want, maybe we can make it a little thick. So we will just select it. Yeah, and we can try to keep it as straight as we want. Yeah, and now we will do is we will use these circles to just kind of create three um, three circles for our signal, and we are going to color it. Okay, so this is red, and now we need a little connector. So I will take this connector, and now because I want exactly the um, same size, so instead of creating a new one, I will just do copy paste. So I'm going to do a copy, and I'm going to do a paste, and same thing I will copy paste so that I get exactly same size here. See, it is placing it here. I wanted to place slightly behind on the road. Okay, so this is where our traffic light is. And now we want to work with the colors. So here, let's name the first one red. So what we will do, we will keep the red one bright, and this is going to be orange, but very faded light orange. And we will make this green, but this is also right now faded because the signal is but it should not look gray, it should look a little green. So just pardon me, I'm not like really very artistic, so I'm just showing you not really being creative also. We can just do basic thing, but somebody who is uh, full of creativity and is really good can get it better and better. um, so we've got a first red. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just doing control and right click, and I see a duplicate. I'm clicking on it. So what it has done, it has created a second costume, and now I'm calling it orange. So here we are going to dim our redness, and we will make this very orange. Yeah. So that's what our orange, and now we will make it green. So make sure you keep naming our costumes also. So this is green. So we are going to dim our orange, and we are going to brighten our green. Yeah. So we have red, orange, and green. If we want, we can even make it brighter as we want. Now we have to tell the traffic signal what do we want it to do. So initially we want it to when our project starts, let's have it red to start with. Or should we have it green to start with? Let's have it green to start with so that our vehicles can just keep passing. Okay, let's do that. And then we will make it stop so that the vehicles come at a stop. So what I'm going to do, when green flag clicks, I'm going to set the costume to red. Okay. So, and that's what we've already done. We've made our vehicles to come and pause here. Yeah. And now what we will do is that after some time, we are going to make it green, right? Now we are going to, when we're saying after some time, now this is a very important aspect which is going to come up, is how do we control things on our coding environment? Because what we're looking at is two things. One is timing, yeah, and the other aspect is that once something becomes, red, all the other objects, they have to know now it has become red and we have to stop. So for us, when we are on the road, the signal, when it turns from red to green, we look at it and we make movement. But for coding blocks, it's not going to look at it and make a movement, right? It has to be communicated in the language it understands, right, through the coding. So this is known as synchronization in coding. So basically being able to align one thing after the other. And to do that, we are going to make use of further events. Okay, so this is a very, very critical topic because this really empowers you to code in the way you want to. So we are going to learn that. So the first thing, after switching costume to red, it is going to stay like that and we will use our control. We have looked at it before. So it is going to say wait for 3 seconds. Okay. And after waiting for 3 seconds, it is going to switch costume to green. And once it has switched costume to green, now we are going to use an event to broadcast. Broadcast means it is sending a message to everybody who is listening. Okay, it doesn't matter who. On this project, everybody else can listen to this broadcast. So this broadcast doesn't care to whom it is being broadcasted. It is just sending a message. So what it is broadcasting? In this twisty, I'm clicking, I'm saying a new message, and I'm saying I am green. Okay, so I can edit, and I have edited the message to broadcast I am green. So the traffic signal has done its job. It has told everybody that okay, I am green. Now it is up to all the other sprites to decide what do they want to do when they're green, and they can decide different things. They don't have to do same thing. They can decide different things. Now for our motorcycle. Now, I hope you all are thinking that, okay, now how will it know it has turned green? So it will, on this event, there is another event which is called when I receive. So when somebody else is broadcasting, this guy is waiting to listen. And only when it receives I am green, only then this coding block is going to execute. Otherwise, this piece of code which we are going to write is not going to execute. It will only execute when it receives this broadcast that I am green. But once it receives I am green, whatever code we write following to it, it will do that. So in this case, what we would just want the bike to move forward. So to move forward, we again going to use the motion block. We want it to move forward all the way till the edge of it. Okay, till it can go. And you can play with it and try how much can it go, and maybe 1 second is too much because it's already so close. So we want it to go till here. Okay, so and let's try a little more. So that is 276. And now let's see what happens. So when we click on the green flag, person bike has come and stood and it became green, so it moved forward. Now it was too quick, so we were not able to watch. So what we will do, instead of 3 seconds, we'll make it 5 seconds. Okay, I'll make it 7 seconds for now so that we can watch it more carefully. Yeah, so now just see, this will make it green, and the moment it made it green, it moved forward. Here we can try to see if we make it to 80, what happens. Okay, do you see? Still it is stuck here. So this is a limitation of Scratch, that when it reaches the edge, it won't go out of that display by itself. Okay, it is limited by the range of the screen. So then to kind of work around this situation, what we do, once it has reached the edge, we can use the look height, and we can say it can hide. So when it reaches there, it will go till there and it will hide. Now for a refresher, if we all can also do this for the school bus. So if all of you want to unmute yourself also and so say the code. That would be wonderful. So what we are going to do, we are going to use which event? When I receive, I am green, right? The same event it is also going to work on. And then what should it do when it receives? It should move forward, right? And it should glide all the way till the corner and then hide itself. Yeah. So here, what we will do, we will use glide, and after it has gone till there, till the end, we will just hide it. So now we see bus and bike signal is green, so it has come, it has stopped, it has become green, and it has moved away. What we will do next is you all can start to practice this. You can refer to this video wherever you're stuck on your own also when you do it. We will take questions now also, and I will also show you maybe another project here which is a little enhanced version of what we were doing, so that you have an idea of these are the things you can do, and now you can go out and out creative and really code your project the way you want.